I used to think I was done with him. Not just him, the memories, the apartment, the playlists, the smell of his cologne that lingered on my clothes for months. But some people leave a shadow even after they're gone. My name is Sienna. I'm 27, living in downtown Los Angeles. And this is the story I promised myself I'd never tell. It started 6 months after my breakup with Ryan. We'd been together for 3 years, perfect on the outside, complicated underneath. When it ended, I swore I'd never look back. Then one Friday night, at a friend's rooftop party, I heard someone laugh. That kind of deep, familiar laugh that makes your stomach tighten before your brain even knows why. I turned out it was Ethan, Ryan's best friend. I hadn't seen him in nearly a year. He looked the same and completely different at once, calmer, sharper, like time had sculpted him instead of aging him. He walked over, smiled, and said, "Didn't expect to see you here, Sienna." I smiled back, pretending not to feel my pulse skip. We talked, casually at first, about work, mutual friends, the city, but every word carried a quiet charge. By the end of the night, the party noise had faded. We were standing near the edge of the roof, the city lights reflecting in his eyes. He said softly, "You seem happier now," and I laughed. "I'm trying." Then he said, "He didn't deserve you." Something in the way he said it, low, certain, cracked something open in me. After that night, we started running into each other more often. Coffee, mutual hangouts, text messages that started innocent and turned longer, later, warmer. I told myself it was just friendship. But friendship doesn't make your heart race when his name appears on your screen. One night, it rained, rare for Los Angeles. He called, said he was nearby, asked if I wanted to grab a drink. I said yes. We met at a small bar tucked behind an old theater, the kind of place with dim lights and quiet music that makes you want to whisper. We talked for hours about everything, his career, my art, how both of us had changed since Ryan. At one point, he said, "You were always the one who made him better." I looked at him and replied, "Maybe I was just with the wrong one." The silence that followed was heavy, charged, dangerous. He reached across the table, brushed a drop of water from my wrist. Just a touch. But it felt like the first inhale after holding your breath too long. When he drove me home, neither of us said goodbye. We just sat there, the sound of rain against the windshield, our eyes doing all the talking. And then he leaned in. Just enough for me to feel his breath. Just enough for me to know what would happen if I didn't move. I whispered, "Ethan, we shouldn't." He said, "I know," but neither of us moved. That night didn't end with a kiss. It ended with something harder, restraint. Because sometimes wanting someone you can't have hurts more than losing someone you did. After that, everything changed. Every message, every accidental glance across the room felt electric. But guilt grew with it, the unspoken rule we were both breaking. One weekend, Ryan came back into town. I saw them together, laughing like old times. Ethan caught my eye across the crowd, his smile fading just for a moment. That's when I knew. Whatever this was, it couldn't last. A few days later, I went to see him. We stood in his apartment, surrounded by the city's night glow, the air thick with everything we couldn't say. He said, "I've tried to stop thinking about you." I said, "You didn't try hard enough." He smiled, the saddest smile I've ever seen. Then he stepped closer, close enough to memorize, close enough to hurt. I told him, "If we do this, we can't undo it." He said, "Maybe we're already too far in." For a moment, the world stopped. And then I stepped back. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is walk away. I left before sunrise. Didn't turn round. Weeks passed, months. He didn't call. I didn't either. But sometimes, when I walk home late at night, I still feel it, that ghost of a heartbeat, that invisible thread between two people who almost happened. Not every love is meant to last. Some are meant to remind you who you are and what you'll never settle for again.